Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into updates on the ongoing case of Runa Tamura, who infamously beheaded a 62-year-old man in Susukino, Hokkaido, Japan. In July 2023, the shocking crime led to the arrest of three family members: Runa Tamura, her mother Hiroko Tamura, and her father Osamu Tamura. Currently, the trial of Hiroko is ongoing, with Osamu appearing as a witness. During the latest trial in October 2024, many new details have emerged, painting a complex picture of the family dynamics at play. According to the indictment, Hiroko is accused of aiding and abetting the abandonment of a corpse and aiding and abetting the demolition of a corpse. Specifically, she is alleged to have allowed her daughter Runa, age 30, to hide the victim's head in their home in July 2023. Hiroko was also reportedly asked by Runa to videotape the demolition of the head and sought Osamu's assistance in abandoning and destroying the body. Before addressing these charges, it's essential to delve into the unusual parent-child relationship and their living situation. Testimonies indicate that Runa began missing school in the second grade of elementary school and was unable to attend at all by the time she entered junior high. Concerned about her well-being, her parents had her examined by a psychiatrist who diagnosed her as bipolar and recommended that she attend an alternative school. Unfortunately, this option proved challenging for Runa, and from around the age of 18, she became a recluse at home, with no friends or social interactions. From the age of 18, she also attempted to take her own life multiple times, expressing distressing thoughts such as, "Tamura Runa is dead," and claiming her body was filled with the souls of 5 or 6 people, suggesting she was merely borrowing her own body. Hiroko and Osamu were no longer allowed to call their daughter by her name, Runa, and had to call her Miss. Runa also began calling her mother Hiroko, she, and her father, Osamu, driver. During her episodes, Runa would shout incomprehensible words, punch holes in the walls of their home, and even engage in self-harm. To cope, her parents adopted a Runa First policy, striving to fulfill her wishes as much as possible. According to the prosecution's opening statement, Hiroko and Osamu never scolded Runa since childhood, doting on her instead. Even as an adult, they prioritized her requests, with Hiroko managing Runa's meals and checking her mood daily, reporting it to Osamu via social media. Whatever Runa desired to eat, Osamu would buy and bring it home. This enabling behavior extended to how Runa treated her parents. She would scold Hiroko for minor grievances and during car rides, choke and attack Osamu. In response, Hiroko and Osamu would wait for her anger to subside and often be the ones to apologize, reinforcing Runa's behavior. Evidence of these family dynamics was presented through over 6 hours of audio recordings submitted as evidence during the trial. These recordings, captured by Osamu between October 3, 2020 and May 28, 2023, show Runa speaking in both English and Japanese, often in the voice of her alter ego, Cynthia. In one recording in English, Runa angrily exclaimed, "I want to kill you," and demanded, "Why don't you follow my order?" In a Japanese recording, she claimed, "If I get a little stronger, I'll kill you bastards. That's what we've always thought, my sister and I." Here, sister referred to Runa herself. Several years prior, Runa developed an interest in horror movies and S&M, but until around February 2023, she had been living a reclusive life. That year, she suddenly began going out, although her depression symptoms had not improved. On May 28, 2023, at Runa's request, Osamu took her to a club in Susukino, which was thought to be Hokkaido's red light district. Around 7:30 a.m., Osamu contacted Hiroko to say that Runa had hit it off with someone she met at the club, and Hiroko reported feeling very happy about that. Runa had been a recluse for a long time and had no contact with anyone other than her parents, so Hiroko, as her mother, thought that going out with someone was a big step forward. Hiroko was happy to see her daughter's change from being a recluse. Afterwards, Hiroko stated that she was surprised by the story that Runa and Osamu told her when they returned home. When asked by the defense, Osamu reported that when Runa returned to his car, she told him, "I thought we were going to karaoke, but he took me to a hotel. He asked me to have sex with him, and I told him to use a condom. He did it 4 or 5 times, but the last time we did it, he took off the condom halfway through. When I told him he'd broken his promise, at first he lied, but in the end, he said, 'I'm sorry,' and ran away." Around mid-June, Hiroko stated that she heard that Runa had gone around several clubs in Susukino with Osamu to find the man and made another arrangement to meet him on July 1st. Osamu and Hiroko didn't like this idea, but Runa was determined and seemed very much to be looking forward to it, so they did not say anything to stop her. 10 days prior to the murder, Runa and Osamu rented horror movies from a video rental store in the city. Prosecutors argue that both films contained scenes depicting neck severance, which closely resembled the crime scene that Runa recorded on her handy camera when she killed the victim. This suggests that Runa likely used these movies as inspiration for her actions. The morning after the incident, Hiroko discovered an unfamiliar plastic case in the bathroom that appeared to contain a black garbage bag. Because Runa was resistant, Hiroko claimed she did not check the contents. When Runa nonchalantly told her, "I came home with a head," Hiroko was initially skeptical. However, after seeing a news report about a headless body being discovered, she started to think Runa's words might hold some truth, but was too frightened to check. Runa urged her to look, leading Hiroko to the bathroom where she found the human head in the sink. Unable to confront the sight directly, she asked her husband for assistance. Runa had planned to mutilate the head in the bathroom while filming the act. Hiroko was asked by Runa to videotape the mutilation, and she initially agreed. However, she later sent a message to Osamu via social media, asking him to be the cameraman instead. Osamu consented and filmed the mutilation of the head. After realizing the gravity of the situation, Osamu and Hiroko described their lives as overwhelmingly stressful. Despite the horror, they felt powerless and chose to continue living their daily lives as before. Now, let's examine the case against Hiroko in more detail. The main issue in this trial will be whether she, accused of condoning Runa's actions, is guilty of aiding and abetting. The prosecution pointed out that the defendant was aware that Runa had had trouble with the victim before the incident and that she had a growing intent to kill him, claiming that Hiroko had tacitly condoned her daughter's crime. In contrast, the defense argued for Hiroko's innocence, asserting that, although she did not call the police or have her daughter appear, knowing that the head was in her home does not amount to aiding in the crime. When asked by the presiding judge whether she admitted to the charges, Hiroko firmly denied, stating, "I had no intention of helping at all." She clarified that when she discovered the head, it was already in the bathroom, emphasizing that she did not condone its concealment. Regarding the videotaping, she tearfully insisted, "I was asked to film it, but I didn't know what I was going to film. I asked my husband to help me. I did not condone it. It was an unbearable situation." Hiroko expressed that she had noticed police tailing them early on, leading her to believe Runa would soon be arrested. They both understood that the day they could no longer live together was approaching, so they chose to accept their fate and spend what time they had left as a family. Hiroko was aware that Runa had left the head in the bathroom of her home and continued her daily life, but did not believe that Runa intended to hide it. As for the crime of aiding and abetting the desecration of a corpse, Hiroko's defense maintains that she was unaware of Runa's plans to film the desecration and was not present when it occurred. The prosecution analyzed Hiroko's smartphone, uncovering evidence that she had sent a line message to Osamu asking, "Will the car's GPS remain?" She later deleted the history of their conversation, raising further questions about her involvement. This trial has once again revealed an abnormal and distorted family relationship, with Hiroko's fifth trial scheduled for November 5, 2024. The trial for her daughter, Runa Tamura, has been delayed. Although Runa was previously found fit to stand trial, on October 11, 2024, the Sapporo District Court decided to conduct a second psychiatric evaluation of her. This evaluation is expected to take several months, and the results will be crucial evidence in her trial. The defense is currently questioning Osemu as a witness. We will share some excerpts from the questioning that occurred in the recent trials. Please note, this is not the full transcript, and this excerpt was translated using DeepL Translate. Also, these are not the real voices of the people involved. Please feel free to listen, and until next time, stay safe.
We went together to the club that the victim was at.
What were your thoughts when you were searching for the victim?
I hoped that we wouldn't find him, and that Runa would have given up on it.
Do you think Runa had the intention to kill?
No.
When did you know about the head?
I first found out when I arrived home from Susukino in the early hours of July 2nd, when Runa said, "I found the head."
Did you ever tell her that she could leave the head there?
No.
Did you ever specifically hear that the head had been cut off?
No.
Why didn't you report it?
I thought that my daughter would be found and arrested immediately because I drove to the scene in my own car. I would be betraying my daughter if I turned her over to the police myself. I couldn't accept what my daughter was going through, and I thought it would be a betrayal. I didn't want to push her further, as she would break down even more.
When did you know that the defendant Runa was planning to damage the head?
When I entered the bathroom with the camera.
Did Runa say that she murdered the victim?
She didn't.
Why didn't you ask Runa about her motive?
It never occurred to me to ask her about her motive when she wouldn't say anything herself.
What about the claim that you spoiled your daughter and let her do as she pleased?
We thought we had disciplined her to a certain extent until she began to have delusions. If she was pushed to the brink in her mental state, it would be irreversible, so we couldn't say anything.
Did you ever refuse Runa?
I would refuse things I can't do, things I shouldn't do, things that involve life, things that would be a crime.
Was Runa interested in the sexual intercourse?
I think so.
Was Runa angry or sad when she talked about it? Please explain from your perspective.
She was worried that she might get pregnant or contract a sexually transmitted disease because they did it without contraception at the end.
Did she cry?
Not at all.
4 or 5 days after May 28th, how was Runa trying to interact with the male victim?
She started saying, "I want you to apologize to me in person." She said, "I want to meet you in person so you can explain why you did it."
Who was the first to talk about practicing S&M?
My daughter started it. After making the arrangement with the victim, she said, "Last time I was the one who got attacked, so this time I'll be the attacker." And we practiced.
How long did it last?
I think it was at most a minute or two.
Can you be more specific?
I imagined I was sitting on my knees with my hands handcuffed behind my back and wearing an eye mask, and my daughter came up to me from behind and touched me here and there.
Why did you search for bleach?
My daughter asked me if bleach could be used to remove oil stains from dolls.
What dolls?
They are dolls that you assemble to make to your liking, and we have over 100 of them at home. When buying second-hand dolls, she wanted to rescue dolls that were being neglected and make them beautiful, so she bought as many as she could.
Isn't bleach strong and could damage dolls?
I think so.
So did you look up bleach?
Yes.
How do you store new dolls?
We keep them in boxes.
On June 25th, you were looking into a large black suitcase. What did you think it was for?
My daughter said that it would be good for carrying a bunch of boxes of dolls together, and that she wanted something suitable for that.
Did you type in the searches for suitcase, load capacity 100 kilograms, and suitcase, load capacity 50 kilograms?
I'm not sure, but she told me to look for something that could fit as much as possible. So I don't know if I typed it in myself or clicked it.
How many dolls can fit in a black suitcase?
I think it could fit 20 to 30.
What about 70 centimeters ones?
I think it could fit about 15.
How much do they weigh?
Each one weighs 4 to 5 kilograms. So if there was no cushioning or anything packed in it, It should be around 50 to 70 kilograms.
You have deleted all the line chat history related to the victim. Why?
I didn't like seeing conversations related to the victim.
Q. Did you delete messages by using the delete button or by canceling send?
I didn't know there were two ways to delete them, so I just deleted them.
There is evidence that Hiroko typed in, "Will the car's GPS remain?" to you at 9:30 p.m. on July 1st, but it has been deleted and no longer remains. Do you remember this?
Honestly, I don't remember.
When you returned home on July 2nd, do you remember anything about the car navigation system?
I'm not sure of the exact timing, but my daughter asked me to delete the car navigation history.
Regarding the search for statute of limitations for murder at 8:15 p.m. on July 1, did Osamu actually search for it?
It was 8:15 p.m., right? I don't remember searching.
What knowledge do you have of the statute of limitations for murder?
I have basic knowledge that it disappeared quite some time ago.
How did you find out about it?
I was aware of it from the news and from watching a drama based on it.
Does Runa often borrow someone's smartphone to search for information?
Yes.
Were you specifically told to film the destruction?
She just told me to film it without telling me what was inside.
At what point did you realize that the destruction would take place?
I didn't realize until I got to the bathroom.